Okay, get yourself ready for your to sit yourself on a lift and then come into a good cross-legged position. Just feel that you are sitting evenly with levelness at the seat bones, and then hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears, lifting the heart area consciously and taking deep inhalations in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just focusing on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying them from the top to the bottom. Just look at something that doesn't move on the floor ahead of you and observe these first few breaths, just filling the lungs consciously and emptying the lungs consciously. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Bring the palms firmly together, lengthen from your armpits into your elbows into the heels of the hands up into the fingertips. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. So focus on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, and emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Observe how the in-breath brings energy into the physical body, and how the out-breath allows that energy of the in-breath to distribute throughout the physical limbs. Gently, with an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest, lifting your chest up to meet your chin, so you create Jalandhara Bandha. Just spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area as you release the backs of your hands down towards your knees. Palms facing upwards, bring the tip of the index finger down with the tip of the thumb. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Hold onto your knees and lift up into your chest, elevating the heart area up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation, and then with a following exhalation, turn to the right, just waking the body up with the sensation of the turn, digging the back hand into the floor so that you remain on the front edge of the seat bones, or you move onto the front edge of the seat bones. Draw your abdomen across your ribs and your shoulders. Use your out breath to intensify the turn. Bend your elbows out to the side if you feel like you constrict your chest with your arm as you cross. And then come back to the centre. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, opening the chest as much as you can. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left, drawing your abdomen across. Drawing your abdomen and your ribs and your shoulders. Just using the out breath to intensify your turn. Remaining on the front edge of the seat bones, using the back hand to push yourself onto the front edge of the seat bones. Observe how your energy transforms a little just by observing the action of the pose, and then turn back to centre. Just come into get a belt and have your legs outstretched. So just shuffle off so stay seated, but shuffle off the lift so that the backs of your thighs are free of the lift. So you're not kind of trapping your legs. Have the feet hip width apart, and then push your feet firmly into the belt, and then lift the heart area. Lift the heart area, drawing your shoulders down, pulling upon the belt and rolling onto the front edge of the seat bones. Lengthen from the hips into the heels. Just listening to the breath. Pushing the legs into the belt, lifting from the hips up into the chest, into the heart area, keeping the shoulders down away from your ears. Activating your kneecaps, pressing the kneecaps through to the backs of the knees, turning the fronts of your thighs inwards, lifting up. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, listening to the breath. If you can, if there's no problem with your back, and just a little bit at a time, come forwards, remaining on the front edge of the seat bones, maintaining the action of the legs. Just a little bit at a time. We're not coming all the way into paschimottanasana. We're just coming into a forward bending dandasana. Maintaining the lift of the chest as you come down. If you can reach around your feet, then do. But we're not going all the way down. Just be cautious of coming forwards with a bad back. Just pressing the legs into the floor, turning the fronts of the legs inwards from the little toe side to the big toe side, from the outer knee towards the inner knee. Lifting up into the chest. Just observe how you gently awaken your energy. And then come back to the center. Stay on the lift and then come into baddha. So again, slide the belt underneath your little toe side of the foot and just hold onto the belt as close to the feet as you can, and then lift up into the chest, broaden the chest. Give yourself as much belt as you need in order to really broaden and open the chest. Just listen to the breath. Push the heels consciously together, lengthen from the inner groin into the inner thigh, into the inner knee, and then the inner knee around towards the outer knee towards the outer hips, towards the outer heels. Lift up into the chest, breathing even and deep. Look at something that doesn't move, so that your eyes remain still in the sockets. Just feel how, with consciousness, you bring energy gently into the physical body. And then just get hold of your knees, bring the knees together, and then stretch your legs away. And then come down into Adho Mukha Virasana. So if you've got a bolster, I want you to use the bolster for Adho Mukha Virasana. So you're just going to stretch yourself along the bolster. So this kind of gentler introduction into our stretches is just a good way to just wake up a tired body, because everyone said that their body was feeling a little weary this morning, and we're having uncharacteristically warm weather, so that does something to your energy as well. So just sit on your heels with the knees apart, lifting up into the heart area. And then come forwards, stretching forwards along the bolster. If you haven't got a bolster, you can use some cushions. Stretch into the arms. Keep the seat bones down on the heels if you possibly can. And come forwards. Feel that you open up the energy of the arms and the shoulders. Have the arms wide enough apart so that you can really feel that there's space in the back, space in the neck. Try and keep your seat bones down on your heels. And then just rest your head on one side, and then rest your arms, bring your arms to the sides of the body. Just allow the body to rest down into the floor, down into the bolster. So more of a restorative child's pose. Let your arms soften, let your shoulders soften. Just allow the body to sink into the floor. So there's a gentle turn on the neck, because your head is on one side. We'll swap that over in a moment. Just let the body really relax into the floor. Feel the energy in your bones. So we've just gently stretched out the legs and the chest and the arms. So observe whether there is a difference in the feeling in the bones. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, lift your head, just swap the side of your head that you rest on, and then bring your arms down onto the floor, either side of the body again. If this doesn't feel right for your head or your neck, then you can just rest on your forehead. Let the body release into the floor, observing the energy of the bones radiating into the muscles. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up into a seated position, and then just observe how your energy has changed. Just lifting up into the chest, observing how the energy is changing in the head and in the neck and in the shoulders. And then just sit back in cross legs and have a block either side of the hips. So sit directly on the floor this time if you can. You can always sit on a folded blanket if you kind of sink in the chest, but if you can sit directly on the floor, then do. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, elevating the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down, feeling that energy of the previous pose just lingering around the chest so that you breathe from the bottom of the lungs to the top, and then with the out breath distribute the energy of the breath into the limbs. Reach underneath the right knee with the right hand, bringing the right elbow onto a block. Have the elbow directly underneath your shoulder, and then bring your left hand onto your hip. So at this stage, you'll probably feel like you're heavy on your right seat bone and light on your left. So push that right elbow deeply into the floor, and then lengthen across from the elbow into that left seat bone. So it's almost like you're trying to pull the left seat bone away from the right one. Press that left seat bone down into the floor. Find some levelness. Turn that top shoulder towards the back of the room, and then lift up and over, just stretching out that left side of the body, keeping that left arm straight if you can, keeping the left seat bone stamping down as firmly as it can, relying heavily on that right elbow to find the orientation of that left seat bone. So stretching out those side ribs, side abdominal walls, and then come back to the center. Just hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, just observe your energy, how your energy has changed. And then just reach underneath the left knee, bring your left elbow onto the lift, making sure that that elbow is directly below the shoulder, the left shoulder. Have your right hand on your hip, and then turn the chest. Again, consciously stamp that left elbow into the floor so that you can lengthen across from the elbow and into the right seat bone. Really work to drive that right seat bone down onto the floor. Turn the chest and then look up Using the left elbow to orientate that right seat bone, stamping it down so that you lengthen and maximize the extension of the right side. Feels really good, doesn't it? Lift up into the chest. Breathing even deep inhalations, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. And then gently come back to the center. Hold onto your knees. Lift up into the chest. Just observe the feeling of energy that you have released through your practice. And then stretch your legs out and then bring them wide for upavistha, konasana. So wide legs. If you've got your bolster, have that bolster in front of you. If you haven't got a bolster, you can use like the seat of a chair or whatever. So first of all, we'll just move that out of the way just to start off with. First of all, I want you to roll onto the front edge of the seat bones. So just adjust the buttock flesh, just adjust wherever you feel that you need to, and bring the legs wide. Tighten the kneecaps and just bring your hands to the sides of the hips. You can always use those blocks that are still there just to give you a bit of extra lift, or you can just use the floor, the hands either sides of the hips, and then lift up into the chest. Lengthen from the inner groin into the inner heel and lift up into the chest. So grab your belt and then just hold the belt and pull it firmly, and then raise your arms up and over your head. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, consciously maintaining your position on the front edge of the seat bones, turning the fronts of the legs inwards, lifting from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, into the wrists, into the palms, pulling firmly on the arms. Taking deep inhalations and exhalations. Listening to the breath, stretching out the legs, reaching from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, pulling firmly on the belt. The more firmly you pull on the belt, the easier it becomes to lift the chest. And then release, just keep the belt handy, bring the hands to the sides of the hips and lift up into the chest. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then get your bolster and have that kind of level that in front of you. Just come back to the center. And then you're going to lift your chest and then come forwards, driving your chin forwards towards the bolster. Well, we're not going to rest the chin on the bolster, but that's just to encourage you to lift the chest to come forwards. And then you're just going to reposition the bolster if necessary and bring your forehead down onto the bolster and then stretch your arms out in front. So maintain the extension of the legs. So when you come forwards a little, especially when your head is supported, maybe you find it easier to activate your legs. So push from the inner groins into the inner heels. Keep the legs activated by tightening the kneecaps. Pulling the toes towards your kneecaps, pushing the heels away. Turning the fronts of the thighs inwards like you're doing tadasana. Just feel that when you activate your legs, you also energize them. Feel that you are lengthening into your bones and into your muscles. So applying some gentle pressure to the forehead helps to quieten the brain. Just applying some gentle pressure on the forehead. Keep lifting the chest. Keep stretching from the hips into the heels. So we're consciously activating the legs. Pushing your hands into the floor to maintain the lift of the chest. And then lift your head, just come back to the center. Just feel how you have really brought energy into the legs. Just move the bolster out of the way for the moment. Have your belt handy, and then bend the left knee and bring the toes in towards the, just bring the top of the foot onto the floor. And then we're just going to gently turn to that right leg, turn in the thigh, rotating the chest to face that right leg. Just drawing the abdomen across, the ribs across and the shoulders. And then you're going to reach forwards with the right hand and get hold of the big toe. And then bring your left hand onto your hip. And then if you can't reach your big toe, then have a belt around your foot and just have as much of that you need. Open the chest and turn the chest up to face the ceiling, rotating that shoulder, that top shoulder away, and then if you can, bring the elbow of that right hand down onto the shin, turn in the chest, and then reach up and over, turning the chest up to face the ceiling. So just a gentle version of paravrtta janu sirsasana. So in full janu sirsasana, we reach down with this lifted arm and find the big toe, but we're just using this to stretch ourselves out. So we're just doing this more gentle stage. Feel that the hips are level. Okay, and then gently come back to the center. You okay, Andrew? And then just stretch your legs out again for paravrtta. So for upavistha konasana. And then bend the right leg, just pointing the toes, bringing the top of the foot onto the floor, and then lift up into the chest. At first, I just want you to turn the chest to face that straight leg, lengthening from the hip into the heel, turning the chest. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Feeling that each inhalation contributes to greater energy within the body. And then come back to the center, reach forwards, hold the big toe. If you can't get hold of the big toe, then use the belt. Just have your right hand on your hip and lift up and open the chest. Draw that right shoulder towards the back of the room. Draw the abdomen from the left to the right. Feel that the seat bones are even. Activate that left leg, especially the kneecap. And then reach up and over, finding that openness of the chest. If you can bend that left elbow down onto the left shin, but keep working that left leg so that you can really activate that right seat bone, keeping that right seat bone even. So, like I say, just a variation of paravrtta, janu, sirsasana. We're not going all the way into the pose, we're just using the energizing extensions at the side ribs just to open up the energy. Keep the arms straight if you can with that lifted arm. And then come back to the center. And then just bring both legs into swastikasana. Hold onto your knees and lift up into the chest. Just feel the openness of your energy. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. So we're activating the body. We're not doing restorative poses. We are just doing more meditative, extended poses. Supported extensions, just to open up the energy. Just feel the warmth around the chest, around the torso. Allow that to spread into the arms, into the legs, maybe up into the head. And then just stretch your legs out a moment. Get a bolster, but we're also going to use a couple of these blocks. So have one block on its low end like that, one on its high end, and then bring your bolster along like that, so you've got a little ramp. You might want a blanket for your head just to stop it from rolling back. That is a nice approach as well. And then we're going to come into supta baddha konasana. If you've got your belt handy and you're able to do it, then just bring the belt into a really big loop. So just bring the belt into a really big loop like this, and then bring the loop around your lower back. Make sure you don't twist it, and then around the outside edge of your feet, and then pull on the end of the belt so that you come into a secure supta baddha konasana. If you're not quite sure how to do that, or if that didn't make a lot of sense, it's difficult to kind of come over. I can't come over and do your belt, so you can just do the pose without the belt. Lift, push your hands into the floor, lift the spine up and along the bolster. Having the blanket for your head is really nice as well, so just have that if you need it. And just at first, just observe whether or not you feel comfortable. So observe for comfort. You can let the arms rest. But the chest is really lifted and opened. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Feeling the energy of the chest from the previous pose and distributing it evenly into the limbs. If there's stiffness in your hips and it's uncomfortable in your hips, then you can put some blocks on the outsides of your thighs just to support your hips. Otherwise, just recline into the pose and just observe your breath. Listen to your breath. Listen to the sound of the breath. Observe how the out-breath sounds different to the in-breath. So you can stretch your arms up, interlock your fingers and turn the palms all the way out. And then lengthen your arms along the top of the bolster. Stretching your arms away. If that's stiff on your hips, then just have your arms resting on at the sides as we did a moment ago. Consciously push the heels together. The more you push the heels together, the more perhaps you can bring the knees down to the floor. Turn the tailbone gently inwards, draw the abdomen towards the spine. Breathe from the bottom of the lungs to the top, breathing into both lungs evenly. Release your arms, stretch your arms up, and then swap the interlock of the fingers, and then turn the palms all the way out, lengthening your arms along the bolster. And then release your arms, just rest your hands on the floor, either side of the body. Just feeling the openness of the chest and allowing the breath to just really open up into the chest open from the bottom of the lungs to the top. Okay, and then push your elbows into the floor or your hands into the floor. If your elbows don't reach, lift up into the chest. And then just hold onto your big toes in baddha konasana, lift up into the chest, just observing how your energy has changed. And then release the belt, just loosen the belt if you've got it there, and then stretch your legs out. So bring the knees in towards each other and then just stretch the legs out. Stretch the legs out and roll onto the front edge of your seat bones, lifting up into your chest. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. If you've got a bad back, then stay at this stage. If you don't, then you can raise your arms and reach forwards. If you can't reach your feet, then you can throw a belt around your feet. But my feet are about hip width apart, so a little wider than a traditional dandasana. But it just gives you space. So keep the chest lifted, keep the heart area lifted. Broaden the elbows as you come forwards, really activating the legs, tighten the kneecaps. Tighten the kneecaps, and the legs will want to turn outwards from the big toe side to the little toe side. Make them turn inwards. And forwards, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then come back. Just get your bolster, and you're just going to do that same thing again, and then you're going to use the bolster for your head. So you might need to just bring the bolster like this, or this, or you might need some blocks, and you can just put some blocks underneath the bolster. So just have the bolster lifted in a way that will support your head as you come forwards, lengthening forwards, and find your bolster. Have it high enough so that you're not straining your back or you're not rounding your back too much to come forwards. So then turning the thighs inwards. So these are just supported poses, they're not restorative poses, because with restorative poses we just release rather than extend. So we keep the legs activated really consciously in Tadasana. Lengthen the abdomen consciously towards the diaphragm, towards the collarbone, towards the chin. So supported, extending poses. And then lift your head and then come back to the center. Just bring your hands to the sides of your hips, lifting up into your chest. And then just gently turn to the right, keeping your legs outstretched, keeping the legs activated, as though you're doing dandasana. Just observe the quietness of the brain from coming out of a forward bend. And then come back to the centre, just reset on the seat bones, and then turn to the left. And then gently come down, come back to the centre. And then to finish, we're going to go into a supported supta baddha konasana. So first of all, you're just going to sit as close to the roll of the bolster roll as you can, and then you roll it in towards yourself as you come down. And then you bring feet together, you just roll the bolster away a little, just so that the legs, the outer legs, are in line with the bolster. And then just allow yourself to release onto the floor, keeping the feet together, keeping the bolster level. And then just listen to the breath. So just a little supported supta baddha konasana. So with the legs on the bolster, the hips supported a little more, but they're also encouraged to open a little more. Of course, you can always put blocks on the outsides of your thighs if this is not comfortable. Stretch your arms up, interlock the fingers or hook the thumbs together, and then turn the palms outwards if you're interlocking your fingers, and then stretch your arms along the floor. Just feeling your lungs with the energy of the universe. Keeping the pose active, even though the temptation is to let it become completely passive. Keep stretching your arms, keep pressing the feet together, keep consciously lengthening from the groins into the knees, into the thighs. That didn't make sense. Groins into the knees, into the shins, into the feet. Just swap in the interlock of the fingers. Reactivating your arms, extending your arms consciously away from your shoulders. Okay, release your arms and then just slide your legs away, but keep the bolster underneath your knees. If your head feels like it rolls back, then get a folded blanket and bring it underneath your head and the back of the neck. And then just rest the body into the floor. Just make sure you're in a good straight line. And then completely relax the floor, the body into the floor. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Just feel the lungs from the bottom to the top. Just let the muscles relax in the arms and the legs. Let the body become heavy on the floor. And observe that out of that heaviness comes a lightness that radiates into the bones. So it radiates from the bones and into the muscles. And into the organs. Into the flesh and the skin. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Just bring yourself back into this pose of shavasana. Bring your feet onto the bolster. Have your feet apart and your knees together. Just resting your back into the floor. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Just a gentle massage on the spine. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg. Come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in a masti. Just a final spinal lift. Close your eyes, draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the reclining poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Just connecting the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb. Just a gesture of wisdom and peacefulness that we can bring into our day. And then just gently raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you really lifted your energy. So just some gentle supported extensions just to kind of get the tired body up and about. So I hope you feel good. Thank you for joining me.